There it is.
Hello there, and welcome to the Stay Off My Lawn podcast, where we'll have a little fun, lots of laughs, and discussions on the common sense that needs to be applied to a lot of today's world news issues. And now, the disclaimer. Stay Off My Lawn is not intended as legal, medical, or financial advice. Void where prohibited. No purchase necessary to win. Open to legal U.S. residents 18 or older in the contiguous 48 states. Any resemblance to anyone living or deceased is purely coincidental. Actual price may vary. Only use as directed. Not a member of FDIC. And now, here are your hosts, Mike and Richard.
Who's he talking to? Oh, that's us.
Hey, there's nobody else in here. It's just us.
Yeah. Do I hit the button now? Yeah, I don't know what I'm doing anymore. Welcome to this week's episode of Stay Off My Lawn. It is January. It is January 13th, 2026, and it's episode 150. You got more?
Yeah, now we're going.
Big 150. So we're good to go there.
Okay, and guys, you're done. You can leave now. Wait a
minute. Yeah, there you go. There's your ding. Anyway, episode 150.
You said episode twice. Don't fool me like that.
As the kids say. And so anyway, we're all excited. So anyway, this is episode 150. We've made it 150 episodes, 3 years.
Yeah, it just keeps rolling along at a breakneck. We're going to have more.
We make a voice like he's on speed is what happens, and it's where we're at right now. I don't know. So I guess we'll just jump right in. I don't know.
Yeah, whatever. There's a little bit of a party going. It's not much. But anytime you say, oh, we're going to celebrate 150, who shows up? The marketing department and the sales guys.
I got them, though. I put near beer out there. They don't.
Yeah, but somebody brought something and put in the punch bowl that was already, it was supposed to be tame. And you just walk by it and you come back and go, I don't know. Oh, wait, where the drinks were and there's something in the air.
Little Nancy Pelosi juice.
Yeah, a lot of Nancy Pelosi juice is what it smelled like to me. Anyway, let's jump in before I remembered to stop the fanfare before we got a second fanfare.
Let's go. That's all right. We needed a second one. We ought to have one for every year, so this would be year 3.
Oh my!
Anyway, is a new.
Well, I do have 3.
If you want, you can play another one if you want.
Sure, let me move it over. Dun, da, da, da. There we go. And
no burp this time. So. All right, there we go. So we're all set. We have that one now.
That fanfare for 10 years, I think.
Yeah, I think we're done with fanfare for today. For the next 5 minutes, we're done with fanfare. The new HHS vaccination schedule and food pyramid was released. Was it yesterday or was it last week?
Been in the last let's just say in the last few days, because I think it was at the end of the week last week.
Yeah, it was last week. It wasn't yesterday. But the food pyramid got flipped on its ear. So I mean, all the grains that were supposed to be, and that's what I was listening to somebody talk about that today, and they were saying that when the food pyramid was developed, I think it was in '92, is that a lot of the people that were developing it were kind of in bed with the grain companies and the cereal companies and the sugar companies, and it's like a little bit too much conflict of interest going on there. I mean, why in the world we would need 10 to 11 servings of grain a day, and they wonder why everybody's gotten so, I mean,
Well, that and seed oils that were originally made and manufactured. Cottonseed oil? Yeah, that was to lube up the cotton picking machines that they had invented, not for us to ingest.
cotton picking machines. I
Yeah,
mean,
well, and Crisco came out. They figured out how to turn it into lard looking, where it would solidify after it cooled down. And oh, this is the next best thing to really making your heart hard as a carp.
yes, I remember my mother scooping it when we didn't have any bacon grease. She would scoop into that and pop it in the pan to cook with. I'm like, it just didn't seem right even back then to me.
And bacon grease is all the rave.
That's
And
fine.
the wife and I have done the same thing that our parents and grandparents did. There was always a jar of bacon grease next to. We keep ours in the fridge, but we've used it for years and got admonished for it once and going, well, why are you still using? Well, because it tastes wonderful.
Fantastic. You cook eggs in bacon grease. Oh my God. You don't even need the bacon.
Or fry up your taters. Yeah, like some of them Idaho taters cooked up, Uh-huh.
All right, Carl Childers. Yes.
them some good. Give me some of them. Anyway.
Mustard. But anyway, then the vaccination schedule got changed from 70 vaccinations, I think it was, between 0 and 18 years old for your children. It was 70 vaccinations were being suggested or recommended or whatever, and they boiled it down to, was it 10 or 11? 10?
11, I believe, is what I heard. But yeah, there's some pediatricians in that don't like it because I'm sure they get a little with every.
You can't tell me that's why they weren't doing all that to begin with.
And
But
they
I mean,
do so many of them all at once. It's like, that's not meant to be with it. Okay, and this is a little bitty body that you're putting all that stuff in. No.
Yeah, they've actually tried to eliminate a lot of the conjugate, which is what is combined vaccination. Plus hepatitis B for a newborn. Are you kidding me? I mean, it's insane. I mean, unless your 4-month-old is doing intravenous drugs, I mean, I guess that's a different story. But that's more. You got more problems than you realize at that point. So anyway, that's been kind of cleaned up, and that's nice. And there were doctors or clinics and groups of doctors that wouldn't even see your child if you didn't have all these 70 vaccinations or up to date, whatever the date was supposed to be that the CDC and the HHS put out. So hopefully that goes away. I don't know how those rules are going to be affected. Hopefully people aren't being made to feel stupid about their choices on vaccinations for their kids anymore. I mean, there are certain things, mumps, rubella, all that kind of stuff. I mean, I don't think anybody's saying no to those things.
What's the other one that we got when we were kids? Smallpox.
Smallpox.
All of us older folks all have the mark on us.
The gun mark. That gun looked like an old Black and Decker drill. I mean,
it did. It was huge. It's like, ow, and it didn't feel real good either.
And you were only what about in first grade? I think was when we got there.
Somewhere everybody was in the gym going through, and here's your cookie or whatever you got. You did that, and then you had there was something else that was in a sugar cube, and it was, this is sugar. And then you'd hit the center whatever they put in the sugar. Oh, nasty.
Oh, I know
I barely remember.
Polio vaccine came in the little red tube. Remember the little red tube, and you had to like squeeze that in. That might have been what you had. I don't know.
Yeah, it was. That's probably what it was, but it was in a sugar cube.
Oh boy, yeah. And then there was, what was the one? Was it tuberculosis where they poked your finger with the 4 little needles? Is that what
I don't remember. We were far enough apart that they were probably doing other stuff. But yeah, we've got on the left shoulder, you've got the
we
little
got that
mark.
in common anyway.
Yeah,
we got 8 years between us, so it's like some things are a little bit different. So yeah, I don't know. Thankfully, RFK Jr., whatever you think of him, I believe he's making some good choices and he's doing some good things for the health of our country, especially with the dyes and stuff that is slowly being taken out. It's just a slow process. It needs to all be taken out now. You got to wonder. So.
Yeah, his wife was on The View and they were going, well, he doesn't have a medical degree. And I think his wife's name is Cheryl.
I don't remember. I'd recognize her if I saw her, but I don't remember.
But anyhow, she goes, did you know that the last 90% have not had a medical degree? And they went, well, yeah, but it's science. Nor have they been scientists. They were just people that, so they're always, it's so, whatever the Democrats want to put in there, we just think he's great, or her, or whatever the last one was that was an it, whatever, I don't know. Yeah. Anyway.
We apparently do more show prep than they do on The View, because I mean, if I was going to ask that question, I would know the answer before I asked the question. Isn't that part of interviewing process?
Yeah, we kind of go through, we don't talk about stuff unless we've seen it, looked at it, found it in at least 3 places, and then it's like, okay, that's what's happening. So
even if it is a speculative, then we'll say it is. It's like, we're not sure about this, but this is what these experts say, or whatever, or this.
And it's always experts, because what do you mean by expert? Well, it's the experts. What experts? Well, they just talk to experts.
Well,
again.
They got them one of them dadgum degrees. It tells me right here it's that I is smart. And
I bought that in a big old building.
Hey, before we get to our first big story, this year we celebrate 250 years of our country's independence. We're going to try to provide a bit of a American history that either gets glossed over or ignored altogether in history books today, or whatever. I do believe a lot of stuff has been deleted that is uncomfortable history. I don't care whether the history can be uncomfortable. I mean, you look at the Mongols or the Greek Empire. I mean, there's a lot of uncomfortableness to go around.
Napoleon didn't help either.
No.
Just say
a lot of it. I mean, if you're talking about Weimar Germany or whatever, I mean, there's just a lot of bad stuff that we need to know so we don't repeat history.
Yes.
But there's a reporter.
Well, you mean it's not better to go hide it in the corner somewhere and ban a book that talks all about it?
Let's just hope for the best. Let's try socialism. Nobody's ever tried it before.
History? What? I've never seen any history. What are you talking about?
It should work. I think it should work. Some guy named Stalin said it worked. I mean,
well, all these other places were bad. This is democratic socialism. And why don't you ask Donnie how it's going for him right now? Doesn't work, people.
That's just beginning. I mean, it's going to get really bad for him, I think, eventually. Or if he's successful, it's going to get really bad for the citizens of New York. So we'll have to got to just sit back and watch that top tumble when it happens. But there's a reporter at the Federalist. Her name is Brianna Lyman. And on her Twitter account, she's posting a 2-minute video every day. And I don't know whether it's every day throughout the whole year, but you can go back quite a bit and see some of these videos. But they're really fantastic. It's about the happenings of 250 years ago on that specific day. And just so you know what they sound like, I've got one for you from, I think it was from the 8th, last Thursday. So here's what that sounds like.
Imagine it's January 9th, 1776. You head down to a print shop owned by Robert Bell with 2 shillings in your pocket. You want to buy a copy of Common Sense. Hey everyone, I'm Brianna, and every day in under 2 minutes, I'm taking you on a real-time journey to relive the greatest story ever told as it unfolded. This is Countdown to Freedom. Just this week, colonists learned that the king has declared them to be in open rebellion and is authorizing force to be used. And yet, many Americans still hesitate. Breaking from the crown still feels unthinkable for some. That's where Thomas Paine comes in. Published anonymously, Common Sense did something radical. It asked ordinary Americans to simply trust what they already felt. The Almighty hath implanted in us these unextinguishable feelings for good and wise purposes, Paine wrote. They are the guardians of His image in our hearts. In other words, the feelings of anger and unease that so many colonists were feeling mattered. The founding generation believed that all men are created equal. They're endowed by God with reason and natural rights. When those rights are violated, as had been the case with the crown, the anger you feel is a natural response to your natural rights being violated. But the reason that the king is so willingly violating the natural rights of colonists is because the king does not believe that all men are created equal, that colonists have certain inalienable natural rights. You see, with a monarchy, the king is born with the right to rule others, so says he. That means he doesn't see himself as equal to the colonists. He's born better than them. And there's nothing in the English Constitution that can fix this either, Payne argued. You simply had to start from scratch. You had to start a new world. This new world, Payne argued, belonged not to kings, but to the persecuted lovers of liberty everywhere. We have every opportunity and every encouragement before us, Payne wrote, to form the noblest, purest constitution on the face of the earth. We have it in our power to begin the world over again. The sun never shined on a cause of greater worth. Join me on Monday as we continue the journey toward independence, because remember, freedom wasn't given, it was won.
So I think it sounds like she's going to be ending on July 4th. But anyway,
that's a birthday. That makes sense.
Yeah, it does make sense. But if you're homeschooling your kids or whatever, man, you got to go to Twitter, sign up for a Twitter account, and go to Brianna Lyman 2. It's at Brianna Lyman 2, or just search for Brianna Lyman, Lyman. She's got the blue check mark next to her name, so you know it's her.
I think I signed up for her, and then I just haven't been on Twitter much lately.
I haven't been since I was there. This was actually from Friday. I was thinking it was Thursday. But yeah, I haven't been back on there. But I mean, if you're kind of a history buff or a nerd like we are, then it's really good stuff. I like it. So anyway, and really, we don't get enough good history and good solid history of the U.S. and we forget our origins. And I'm just as guilty as anybody. So.
Yeah, well, a lot of schools just don't even bother teaching civics or American history. That was always some of my favorite stuff. I think I had that as a junior in high school, was when everybody had American history, and I've always found it fascinating anyway. So,
no, I agree. When I got to be a senior, I think it was, in social studies class, they had this thing called Americanism versus Communism. It was a class that in the state of Florida, it was required for you to graduate high school. It was we just called it ABC. But you went through and you understood how the Bolshevik revolution started in Russia, and how that changed that country beyond recognition at that point, and how capitalism took our country from its very meager origins to where it was to that day, and how the contrasts between socialism and capitalism, and how that is shaken out in the world as of 1982 when I graduated. So it was really, really cool, and I didn't appreciate history up until that point, but at that point, it was like, for some reason, it stimulated the juices in my brain about history, and I really enjoyed it now, and now I'm all about it. So,
it's quite fascinating how a little small country, and at the time, Britain was one of the world's most powerful, had one of the most powerful armies in the world, and you would dare King George, you would dare go against us? They thought they were so, and the Americans just kept annihilating them, and they're going, this isn't fun anymore.
It was just this whole thing. It was nice. I mean, we won, so that's the way I look at it.
Well, if we hadn't had France's help, might not have. So
it was the last time France had any cojones that actually did anything that it had significant impact in the world.
Yeah,
seemingly. We are the big story last week was that shooting in Minneapolis by the ICE officer. Of course, a couple days later, there was a shooting in Portland that was similar, except nobody was dead at the end of it. But we've all seen various angles of that incident. And I'll be honest with you, when I first saw the first angle, I texted Richard right away. I said, dude, I'm not seeing it. I don't understand. He goes, and the first thing you told me, you need to see the other angle. And it's like, okay, all right, I'll wait. And I finally saw the other angle. I'm like, okay, makes total sense. So if you've got a functioning brain, you need to watch all the different angles and don't listen to the narrative being shown to you. turn off the audio if you want. But I mean, watch that video, make up your own mind. Don't listen to whatever media or pundit is trying to tell you what happened. Watch it and go, and you'll come to the right conclusion.
There is a giant series of horrible, horrible decisions that were made by someone who thought they apparently were invincible or could just do because they've been so used to being in ultra liberal states where nothing was done.
Yeah.
They should have had local police there to take care of some of that, but they didn't. So they thought, this is not our police. We don't care. You don't understand. Those are federal police. I don't care what you think of them. They're still federal police, and they have jurisdiction. And some of these mayors and stuff haven't got enough brains to salt your potatoes with. I mean, come on. They don't understand the secession law, that, the power, blah, 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 and it stops up here and they're down here. So really, you can talk and puff your chest out all you want. You don't have a say-so in a federal matter.
Yep, exactly. And we've got some clips from some of these people. The mayor of Philadelphia is the first thing that comes to mind. I've got that. Jacob Fry, the mayor of Minneapolis. The political response to this whole thing is fascinating and sad at the same time. These people are in charge of things, and they're so stupid.
Yeah. Did you have the one of the sheriff of Philadelphia?
I have the one of the sheriff of Chicago, the police commissioner of Chicago.
Oh, okay.
And his take
this
on
is
it.
a lady that is in charge of the sheriff's department in Philadelphia area.
Oh, no, I didn't. I don't.
Oh, yeah, no, she was telling them they don't have you're in our area. Not how it works. Sorry. You need to do a little more history searching because you are dead wrong.
No doubt. No doubt. We'll dig into that here in a minute. We're up against a break. Why don't we do that? And when we come back, we will listen to some of these ridiculous comments by these politicians. So hang in there. We'll be right back.
I'm Charmaine Davies, and if you're looking for a new podcast to listen to, I suggest you stay off my lawn. Well, no, not my lawn. It's a podcast called Stay Off My Lawn, which is absolutely brilliant. It's funny, it's informative. The guys that present it are just amazing. So that's everything you need in a podcast, I think. So go over to Stay Off My Lawn. It's brilliant. Make it your guilty pleasure. It's definitely mine.
Bud Light presents Real Men of Genius.
Real men of genius.
Today we salute you, Mr. Push-Up Bra Inventor.
Mr. Push-Up Bra Inventor.
Never before has one man done so much with so little.
Lifting them higher.
From mosquito bites, pimples, and pancakes to melons, mountains, and major league yabos. An engineering feat so brilliant it can only be described as va-va-va-voom. Thanks to you, even a 90-year-old grandmother can go from A to double D in a single bound.
What's your number, Granny?
So crack open an ice-cold Bud Light, oh hoister of the Hooter, because when it comes to the bust, you're the best.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Bud Light Beer, Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri.
Oyster of the Hooter?
I don't write them, folks. I don't know.
And again, these are commercials, folks, from the 90s. These were the radio versions of that era.
Gotta wonder if some of these didn't even make it to air. I don't know. It's a little edgy even for them.
Oh, I just saw a bunch of funny old-time commercials that were on, and you go, you could say that? Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
Nothing I would say, but I mean, hey, I played it, so what am I thinking? Anyway, this guy here is probably the only guy in Minnesota with a lower T level than Tampon Tim. And it's the 130-pound little mayor tough guy of Minneapolis, Jacob Fry. Here's his response to the whole incident from last week.
To ICE, get the out of Minneapolis. Your stated reason for being in this city is to create some kind of safety, and you are doing exactly the opposite. Somebody is dead.
So I think when you use cuss words, it makes you sound more manly. Yeah, I think that's how that works.
It's not helping. It's just no, it's not. He's puffing his little chest out. I mean, it's about as much as what would come out. So
yeah, pretty much. It drives me crazy, that little man, and how does. But he's not the only one. They're all. Tampon Tim called him the Gestapo. The ICE. It's like you're inciting people to do the wrong thing. As an elected official, you've got a responsibility to have peace in your cities, in your state. I don't understand. What's their end
well,
game?
and we were talking off the air, and a gentleman I used to work with was just a very big liberal, and that's fine. We used to always get along fine, but boy, started calling names and stuff, and it's like, okay, you don't like Trump, I understand that. He says some things that you and I have talked about, neither one of us are big fans of. It's like, you really don't need to do that. But kept going on. I'm going, well, I understand that. What about policies? Oh, and more name calling and that. Okay, I get it. You don't like him. What about his policies? Don't you like? I mean, I may not like what he says, but I am a big fan of the policies that have been put in place because of the results and things that are taking this country and turning it around and putting it in the right direction. More name calling, never said anything about a policy. Not one.
But that just tells you they don't have anything to stand on. Not really, other than and it's personal.
Well, and things that were spewed were coming directly from the media. This damn propaganda media on the left is pretty soon they're going to run out of money because people just aren't watching local. They aren't watching anything else.
No, and we talked about this a while ago. Places like Newsmax and News Nation and a lot of these smaller startups, OAN, they're getting a lot of viewership, and it's all been pulled away from the mainstream media.
Yeah.
So I don't know. The Attorney General up in Minnesota is actually suing the Department of Homeland Security because we got invaded. So we're going to sue you.
You mean me? We're going to take you to court. That'll teach you.
Talk about tears my butt.
Jeez.
Well, the whole thing's been spun by the media machine, as you'd expect. J.D. Vance came out after the media machine really got into high gear after that incident in Minneapolis, and here's what he had to say.
Somebody sent me a photo of a CNN headline about what happened in Minneapolis, and this is the headline. I'm just going to read it. Outrage after ICE officer kills U.S. citizen in Minneapolis. Well, that's one way to put it, and that is the way that many people in the corporate media have put this attack over the last 24 hours. And I say attack very, very intentionally because this was an attack on federal law enforcement. This was an attack on law and order. This was an attack on the American people. The way that the media, by and large, has reported this story has been an absolute disgrace, and it puts our law enforcement officers at risk every single day. What that headline leaves out is the fact that that very ICE officer nearly had his life ended, dragged by a car 6 months ago, 33 stitches in his leg. So you think maybe he's a little bit sensitive about somebody ramming him with an automobile? What that headline leaves out is that that woman was there to interfere with a legitimate law enforcement operation in the United States of America. What that headline leaves out is that that woman is part of a broader left-wing network to attack, to dox, to assault, and to make it impossible for our ICE officers to do their job. If the media wants to tell the truth, they ought to tell the truth that a group of left-wing radicals have been working tirelessly, sometimes using domestic terror techniques to try to make it impossible for the President of the United States to do what the American people elected him to do, which is enforce our immigration laws. The President stands with ICE. I stand with ICE. We stand with all of our law enforcement officers. And part of that is recognizing that you people in the media, not everybody in this room, but many people in this room have been lying about this attack. She was trying to ram this guy with her car. He shot back. He defended himself. He's already been seriously wounded in law enforcement operations before. And everybody who's been repeating the lie that this is some innocent woman who was out for a drive in Minneapolis when a law enforcement officer shot at her, you should be ashamed of yourselves.
Yeah, she's been radicalized pretty quickly. I mean, she's got that 6-year-old, and apparently she was straight 6 years ago to some extent. And all of a sudden she's decided that she's going to play for the other team and move to Minneapolis with her new wife and mess with federal agents as they're carrying out their duties. I mean, where does all this come from? What is wrong with
She was not only messing with federal agents, but I saw an extended, somebody was filming. I don't know what the deal was, if it was from a ring, I don't know. But at any rate, it was almost like 8 blocks long of cars honking their horns like, hey, we're trying to get to work, because she took her car and instead of going this way down the road, she had it parked across the road. And she had been following them and doing stuff all morning long. So they finally went, okay, that's enough. You have got things plugged up, messed up here. You got to get out of the way.
The one body cam footage, the last thing I saw, I think it was on Friday afternoon, it was released, of one of the officers where they were showing her wife outside the car filming for TikTok.
That's the one who got hit by the
Yeah,
car.
okay, that's what it was.
Yes, because he
but
was walking around the car.
You hear her yelling at her wife, "Drive, baby, drive." Well, I mean, should she be charged over that? I mean, it seems to me
I would think so.
in this whole thing. Anyway,
Well, she's already said it was my fault because you're the one who said that. She was taking orders.
yeah,
And it's just a real sad thing. And then you've got some more stuff from that Minneapolis mayor goes, oh, he just got knocked on his fanny was all. No, he was hit in the hip with the front end of a 4,000-pound vehicle, you giant jerk.
And that's the thing, is like these people are just talking out their butt, and they have, it's all about the way they want the perception to be of this tragedy. And it's tragedy. Whenever somebody loses their life, it's tragedy.
Yeah, we both agree on that. This is not a good thing. But she was told umpteen times to get out of the car. She wouldn't get out of the car. She wouldn't unlock the door. You were told at a younger age, officer-wise, they give you a direction to do. Yes, sir, I can follow that. You deal with the problems later. That is not what you do now. And unfortunately, this is someone who thought they were better than anybody else because they come from the liberal world of doing whatever the hell they want. Nothing happens to them. Oh, they're just going to put me in jail. And like when they were first in Portland, they thought, oh, they'll just put me in jail. I'll be out tomorrow. Oh, no, they were taking them to another state. They were nowhere close to that area.
Good.
When they arrested them, they were removed.
But yeah, I mean, you made a good point. That my father, being a cop, he explained to me, when you get pulled over or a cop tells you to do something, you make sure that they can see your hands, and you just comply with whatever they say. Otherwise, you're going to buy yourself a butt whooping. And that's just how that was in the 70s. But I mean, that was how it worked. And I've been white all my life. It had nothing to do with color. I mean, it had nothing to do with, I mean, that's just, you got to comply. Unfortunately, it's just what, and I'm 61 today. And if I got pulled over today, my hands would be up on the steering wheel with my fingers.
And you can see where they're at. I'm not moving anything.
And the first thing I tell them is that there's a gun by my right knee. And whenever I tell them that, they go, as long as you don't reach for it, then you and I are fine. So, and that's normally how it goes. They never asked to look at it. They never asked me to get out of the car, never asked me to do anything like that. So anyway, not to be outdone, here's the district attorney of Philadelphia. His name is Larry Krasner, laying down his version of ground fire against the Trump administration being and ICE being sent out to do their jobs. Here's that.
If any law enforcement agent, any ICE agent is going to come to Philly to commit crimes, then you can get the F out of here. Because if you do that here, I will charge you with those crimes. You will be arrested. You will stand trial. You will be convicted, whether it's in state or federal court. It's my office prosecuting it. That's how the law works. and you will do your time because Donald Trump cannot pardon you for a state court conviction. Do you hear me, ICE agents? Do you hear me, National Guard? Do you hear me, military?
Didn't he say something about whether it's state court or federal court that he's going to prosecute? Well, if it's federal court, Trump can pardon them. I mean,
I know. Well, the other thing is you come and you're committing crimes. No, you don't seem to do anything with your citizens with crimes. Why are you choosing to threaten to actually do your job and prosecute now when it's not a crime? When you have allowed so much crime to happen that Philadelphia, they say, is, boy, it's dangerous to walk through the streets of Philly.
it's almost as bad as Baltimore and Washington. Well, Washington D.C.
Washington D.C. is they've cleaned that up. It's amazing how much different it is in such a short period of time when you clean it up and stop it, and then make sure it doesn't happen anymore and prosecute when they're going, what? What do you mean I have to? What? I've been in and out of here 40 times. Why are you prosecuting me now?
Yeah, exactly. You know, I've only got 40 convictions, or been arrested 40 times. I mean, well, it's going to be 41, and that's it.
Yeah,
so
game's over. So, yeah, I like how these guys puff their little chest out and, do you hear me? Yeah, do you hear us? This is a federal matter. You haven't got the jurisdiction. God gave a rock, so move on.
it's all, like you said, it's all just, look at me, I'm puffing my chest out. I'm
Well,
somebody.
unfortunately, though, the left people go, yeah, they can't do that because he says, okay, I don't care if he's a lawyer or not. No crimes are committed. The crime was committed by someone else and it was taken care of. Ta-da! Go ahead. You didn't do anything about it, so now we are.
Well, in contrast, this is actually very refreshing, Larry Snelling, who is the police superintendent in Chicago, his take is a little bit different, which surprises me. So here we go.
Federal agents, ICE, HSI, are officers. They are agents of law enforcement. If you box them in with vehicles, it is reasonable for them to believe that they are being ambushed and that this could end in a deadly situation. And it's reasonable for them to use force based on those conditions. Do not box in any law enforcement officer. You are breaking the law when you do that. And you are putting yourself in danger. Following law enforcement agents around. The question is why? What do you plan on doing? It's also reasonable for them to believe that you're eventually going to do harm to them. If you ram any vehicle, especially that one that contains law enforcement agents, and that's any law enforcement, local, state, federal, county, and you do this intentionally, this is considered deadly force. Deadly force is anything that can cause great bodily harm or death. When you plow into a vehicle that contains law enforcement agents, you're using deadly force.
It's good advice. I mean, honestly, coming out of Chicago, I am surprised.
Yeah, I was, because normally it's Chicago, bang, bang. That's Chicago. So I was stunned when I saw him do this. I'm going, oh, God, we got another guy from Chicago that's going to, wait a minute, what?
I know. He actually was spewing some good stuff there. We'll wrap up this story with another word from Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Fry. Again, this poor guy. He's got like a negative testosterone number, but anyway, here he is.
Well, let me give you a statistic. 50% of the shootings that have happened thus far in Minneapolis this year have been ICE. In other words, we've only had 2 shootings. One of them has been ICE.
So let's see. Two shootings. One has been 50%. He's right. Oh my gosh. I mean, you can't make this
Wow.
up.
Well, this guy he learned to speak Somali. This is the same
Yeah.
doo-doo head. There, I'm trying to keep it nice. That,
He has such a poopy head.
was learning to speak Somalian so that he could be one of them, because he's on the take. If this doesn't say you're taking away my extra, how am I going to pay for my extra? I'm having reconstruction on my house right now. I'm doing a remodel. Why are you bothering me?
When you're so worried about any demographic finding you appealing, or I mean, if you're more worried about that than your own morality or your own views based on your own personal morals, I mean, if you're an adult male, especially, what do you do? I just can't wrap my brain around that.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, I can't even. Yeah. Brandon Gill was getting after him coming into Congress and was like, do you know how many? Yeah. Right now, currently, the amount of Somalians after 10 years that are still on welfare is over almost 80%. It's over 70%. And it's like, I don't know, but I just want to, no, we'll get back to that. I've got another question.
Oh yeah, he was upset about the whole native Minnesotans. It's like, I mean, we're talking about people that have been there for generations. I mean, this is not rocket surgery. I don't understand where these people.
Well, the Dems right now are doing nothing but supporting criminals. Period. They have no idea what they're doing. Anything that has to do with getting rid of criminals, they get nasty and upset about.
Yeah.
They're
Just like
criminals. What all they've done is come to this country illegally. There's a reason it's called illegal immigrants. You don't just wander in. That's not how it works.
It's like your friend. I mean, we have an ideological difference, and it's not that they can articulate what the ideological difference is. They're just going to be mad that yours is different than what they somehow believe in that little 1 millimeter of surface area that they've thought about this stuff. I mean, they obviously have not spent much time going over in their brain what they actually believe.
Yeah.
No way. Anyway, we're up against another break. When we come back, we're going to talk a little bit more about Venezuela. We started talking about it last week, about us getting Maduro out. And anyway, we'll dig a little bit into that. So hang in there. We'll be right back.
When Uncle Joe was asked what he thought of Mike and Richard, he said,
"These are the kind of guys you like to smack in the ass."
"We'll take that as a compliment. Stay off my lawn. We'll be right back."
Hi, Grandma. Can Nina come over for dinner?
Sure. I've been meaning to ask you, what would happen if someone offered you a drink?
Grandma?
If anyone ever does, I want you to say, no, I have too much respect for my family and I don't want to get in trouble.
I promise, Grandma.
They really do hear you. For tips on what to say, visit underagedrinking.samhsa.gov. That's underagedrinking.samhsa.gov. This message brought to you by SAMHSA and this station.
I was waiting for the air guitar.
I went, wait, he's not cutting that off. I can get in on this.
There, it's going away now.
Anyhow.
Get the whammy bar going. And, yeah. We spoke last week about Venezuela about the U.S. getting Maduro. I guess he's in New York, him and his family, and I don't understand why they took him to New York. Do you know what the story is?
Yes, because that's where a grand jury had been formed, and he was convicted of something that he did a while back, and nobody ever bothered to go and get him, even though Biden put a $25 million bounty on his head, which says the Democrats wanted him to be removed. But he's scary. We don't want to.
A bounty, dead or alive, wasn't it? I mean,
yeah.
It was like.
And then Trump doubled it. and made it 50 million, then just went, nobody's doing anything. Let's just go get him. Because he said, hey, come and get me, coward. I am here for you to do it. Ha ha. And so they went, okay, he asked. Same thing was happening to the gentleman that's in trouble next door in Colombia. Yeah, me too. You can come and get me because I am not a coward, you filthy, stinking Americans. Wait a minute. You did?
Like,
they did what? Just kidding. Sorry.
But yeah, Trump, I believe he came back and said, you mean that, basically?
He called Trump and went, that stuff I was saying about come and get me, it was just all a joke.
He did sound like Cheech Marin the whole time, too. I think that's good stuff. Anyway, the media.
You're welcome.
I
try to be here for the entertainment value of our
stuff. I couldn't do a Cheech Marin like that. I could do Tommy Chong just because he sounds like he's from Minnesota, I guess. It's because, man, Anyway, the media, of course, has been very critical over this whole thing, saying it's about their vast amounts of oil, which they do have vast amounts of oil. I'll give them all that.
More than any other country. 300 and something billion barrels. I forget what it is. It's an ungodly number.
It's worth about $17 billion, I think, is what.
Oh, no. It's worth over $1 trillion.
Okay. It was quite a bit anyway. They've got a lot of oil, the most in the Western Hemisphere, even more than Saudi Arabia, I think.
Yep. They are the most, period.
We also heard
heavy, odd-ass kind of crude that's a little difficult to process.
Similar to the oil they have in Russia, which is just kind of a dirty oil, and it takes a lot more refinement, but there's a lot of it. So, it would be worth refining it like that. Marco Rubio said, we don't need it. We have plenty. Even though all this oil has been seized by the U.S. So how in the world can both be true? It's about oil, but it's not about oil. We don't need it. So anyway, Glenn.
But it isn't. So
yeah. Glenn Beck explained a lot of this in detail, which I couldn't, Richard and I could not hold a flame to. So we're just going to let Glenn explain it. So here we go.
Venezuela has the largest proven oil reserves on Earth, 303 billion barrels. That's $17+ trillion at the current market value. Now, here's the part you're not being told. We don't need the oil. Have you noticed the gas prices? They keep coming down. China needs the oil. China buys 60 to 90% of all of Venezuela's crude exports, now not going to China. How is China going to be able to power all of their electricity needs? And what else has been destabilized this weekend? Iran. They buy 85 to 90% of all of the oil in Iran, and those are huge oil reserves as well. If Iran and Venezuela fall at the same time, China loses 70% of its non-U.S. regulated oil supply. You lose 70%. What else can't you do? Well, you can't go into Taiwan. You can't have AI dominance. There's no BRICS reserve currency. Absolutely, it's about oil, but not for us. That's why this matters, and that's only one piece of this. Drugs, the cartel of the Suns, one of the nastiest cartels, and it is run by the generals of the government of Venezuela. Is this about drugs? Yes. Terror. We've talked about the island off the coast of Venezuela that is in bed with China, Russia, and Iran, and Hezbollah actually comes and trains Venezuelans to be a part of this cartel, and they use all of the tactics of Islamic terror.
So this is seemingly more about leverage, 4D chess type stuff than we have originally realized, and the media obviously have not looked into it deep enough about it. So it's a good thing.
All they want to say is, it's about the oil, it's about the oil. Oh, no, it's not. We don't need it. Well, the only ones that need more oil is on the West Coast. The three big states on the West Coast they're kind of having problems. Because
and why is
they don't have any refineries because they've taxed the living crap out of them.
Exactly right. I haven't talked to my friend that works at the refinery out there, but it's very strange that they have refineries within their state. So it's not transportation costs. So it is just taxation after taxation. Here in Georgia, it's fluctuated a lot in the last couple of weeks. But I think this morning we had to go down to Atlanta for something this morning, and when we came back, it was like I think it was 249, 246, something like that. So I mean,
we're not far off. We're right at once you get from being out here in the boonies, it's around 280.
Yeah. So nothing wrong with that. So anyway, it's one of those things. There's a lot more going on behind the scenes, and if you only listen to the mainstream media, you're not going to hear about it. So, when it comes to deportations, we're going to get back to a little bit of the ICE thing real quick. There was a senior White House official that got asked.
I'm sorry, I couldn't keep a straight face.
I looked at you. I shouldn't have done that. This is something that's going to continue. And this is the answer this senior White House official gave.
Will this administration continue to oversee the deportation of 400,000 people a year?
As long as Congress gives us the money to deport 400,000 people a year, that's what the administration is going to do. That's our obligation under the law. We will be strategic about how we do it. And the number of those folks who are either criminals or recent arrivals will continue to go up. But yes, this is our obligation under the law. You have a community of 10 million, 11 million people living and working in the United States illegally. Some of these things are going to happen, even if the law is executed with perfection. There will be parents separated from their children. We don't have to like it. Congress passed a law, and Congress appropriates funds to implement that law, and the executive branch's job is to enforce it. The president can't say to the Congress, I'm not going to bother to enforce this particular law because these are really compelling people. That's not how democracy works.
Did you leave something out?
Yeah, I just read this. I misled you a little bit. That clip was from 2011, and that was Obama's senior advisor Cecilia Munoz. I'm sorry, that wasn't accurate. That wasn't today. So anyway,
Are you
Obama,
sure? Can't we just reuse that for today?
Sounds a little bit like today, but it's worse. So yeah.
Except that she sounds like she's from the Midwest there, and we
got
got
that
this
Chicago.
going on, and you got to do. We can't just say no to this stuff there, don't you know?
Well, the families are going to get separated there, and
we don't have to like it. We just got to. Yeah. She
it's
was
the lie. So I mean, yeah.
Thoroughly enjoyed that because that was during. They keep. Again, we keep pointing out the hypocrisy of the left because it was okay for them to do it. Oh, it's not one of us doing it. Oh, bad.
CNN or CBS or ABC or anybody call them out about separate families. You terrible people. Nobody said nothing.
CBS is cleaning house, and they're starting to get. Oh, shame on you for going to the right. They're getting that from the other. It's like, okay, whatever.
I don't even think Barry Weiss is a Republican. I think she's still a lefty, but I mean, she's at least she's seeing that the perception of their network is just so far to the left that something's got to be done.
Well, they were losing money hand over fist. So
anyway, do you remember British Prime Minister Liz Truss? You remember?
Yeah, we were talking off air, and I kept going, why is that name familiar? Liz Truss. And then you informed me why it's familiar.
Yeah, she was prime minister for the Conservative Party a whopping 50 days back in 2022.
Wow, that was way back.
In 1922, that was only 70.
And both of us thought it was a lot shorter because it seemed like, oh, she's the prime minister. What do you mean she's gone? What?
We both thought it was more like 10 days. It was like it happened so quick. She seems to have become more aware of the problems we face and the common sense, that seems to have left Western civilization. A couple of weeks ago, she had this to say, which was pretty blockbuster-ish for a Brit. So here we go.
You just can't win. And this is what Donald Trump understands, perhaps uniquely in the Western world. I think there are others who have taken on the deep state. You might point to Viktor Orban, you might point to Bukele or Milei, but really Donald Trump to me is the playbook of how you need to behave, because a lot of people in politics think because it was the case, in the 70s, 80s, that you could reason with the opposition, you could find a compromise, you could be bipartisan, you could persuade people, you could sell it in the media, you could roll the pitch, that strategy can be adopted now. And I think they're wrong because the opposition have changed. We're not dealing with a load of social democrats who just want to raise taxes a bit and spend more on public spending. We're dealing with people who want to destroy Western civilization. This is what their aims are.
It's so sad. She's absolutely right, though. You can't.
Dead on 100%, and her country is being taken over because, again, they're doing the lefty thing of, oh, it's okay, these people are special. The rest of you lousy scums are just, but these people who are causing all the crime and that, they're okay.
And you're a racist, and you should be arrested because you're flying the Union Jack outside your apartment. I mean, it's so insane that if it wasn't reality, then I would think it was a novel that we're reading about.
How dare you say anything bad about the administration? We're going to put you in jail for 30 days and make you think about what you've done.
Again, I worry about our friend Charmaine because she's calling out Keir Starmer all the time, and I was like, one day she's going to be gone for a couple of weeks. Yeah.
Hello.
Hello.
Anybody home?
But she's outspoken, but she's I don't know how old she is, but she's old enough to remember where free speech was actually a thing over there. So yeah, it's not a good thing.
Well, and she used to not like Trump and that, and then she realized she'd been lied to from their media that was saying things that were not right. And so I have not heard her say anything about Trump lately. She may still not agree with the kind of like us liking the way he says things, but she's saying the policies are way better than what they're dealing with.
I think that's where the maturity of a functioning brain would be. You could zoom out and go, yeah, I like this, I don't like this, I wish you wouldn't do that. It's like that's discernment. To be able to look at somebody, you can't say that. Well, I've seen people on our side. I just love Trump. I think he's just wonderful. It's like, no, I don't hold again, we've talked about this. I don't cheer my pom-poms for anybody. I like his policies. I like that the border shut and the deportations and the tax policies and bringing them, the tariffs that are bringing some jobs back to America.
Drill, baby, drill seems to be working.
Absolutely. So, I mean, for you to be so far against him or so far for him tells me that you're not mature enough to really process.
Make up your own opinion on what's being done and what's being said and how it's done. And so, yeah, there's some things going on.
Like I said, when he was on Twitter years ago, all I could think of is like he's sitting on the pot, sitting there typing up these things. For some reason that was the image I had in my head, which is not a good thing.
And every once in a while I go, I need to get these shoes polished.
or the cat's laying in his underwear that's down there. Anyway, we need a palate cleanser, don't we?
Oh Lord, please. This one is just a fun one, folks. It's neither one of us had a clue. It's like, oh, well, both of us went, well, it could be this, or maybe even that. And at the end, and went, say what?
Not even close. Well, not even close. Not
even in the ballpark. We couldn't even see the ballpark from where we were.
That's right. This is a Paul Harvey Rest of the story about a miracle drug of sorts. So here we go. And now.
The rest of the story. It was a patent medicine available to the public in the early 1830s, Dr. Miles' compound. What was this medicine supposed to have cured? Well, according to Dr. Miles, just about everything. Now, wait a minute. Only a year or two before, maybe 3, there was a substance many physicians considered poisonous. And this was the same substance, essentially, that Dr. Miles was using in his compound. Yesterday's poison, tomorrow's panacea. History recalls virtually nothing about Dr. Miles personally. He may or may not have been an accredited medical doctor. He would not have to have been, of course, to get his name on a bottle. So what in the world was this stuff he was peddling? Life or death or something in between? Well, as it turned out, Dr. Miles was a medical pioneer. He had taken something which not long before had been considered poisonous. He had put that something in a bottle. He had sold it as a medicine, and what do you know, the medical community agreed that Dr. Miles' compound was indeed good for you. There was a Dr. Bennett, for example, professor of midwifery, hygiene, and acclimatement at Lake Earl Medical College. This Dr. Bennett was most enthusiastic about Dr. Miles' potion. It was among the most powerful deobstruents available, Bennett said. For certain liver disorders, it was perhaps the most effective and the least harmful agent known. It would prevent bilious attacks. It was a remedy for dyspepsia. It would counteract diarrhea. And here was the boldest of Dr. Bennett's claims. It made people less susceptible to cholera. By the mid-1830s, these medical indications were widely accepted among physicians, and the mysterious Dr. Miles, a man we shall never know, was one of the first to recognize the beneficial effects of this substance, this something once labeled deadly. Dr. Miles' compound went on the market in the early 1830s. 60 years would pass before anybody would suspect the existence of those chemical phenomena that we now call vitamins. In fact, the term vitamin had not been conceived until 1911, so unwittingly Dr. Miles was way ahead of his time. We now know that just 1 tablespoon of his compound, only 17 grams, included 238 international units of vitamin A and substantial amounts of thiamine and riboflavin and niacin. And those, of course, are vitamins B1, B2, and B3, and vitamin C, and iron, and almost 4 milligrams of calcium, and 4 milligrams of magnesium, almost 9 milligrams of phosphorus, and 62 milligrams of potassium, and 300 milligrams of protein, all in 1 tablespoon. Dr. Miles' compound. Whatever diseases it did or did not cure, wow, it was a multiple vitamin mineral complex almost a century before anybody had ever dreamed of such a thing. And it was not poison. And it was indeed good for you. And you know, a bottle costs about the same now as it did then. No, the label no longer reads Dr. Miles' compound, extract of tomato. Today we call it ketchup. And now you know the rest of the story.
I love it. Every time I have a hamburger now, I'm getting healthier.
That's right. Maybe we'll have that for dinner tonight. I need some healthy.
Yeah, you know, I was gonna thaw some hamburger. Now that I'm thinking about it, So anyway, yeah, that was good. Neither one of us. I mean, I was thinking.
No, we were both talking about it. It's like, did you? No, I thought it was maybe a vitamin C pill, and they put some stuff that they had a powder that they. Nope, just squirt it on your dog and your ketchup. Although some people say you shouldn't put mustard on a dog, but that's okay. I like it.
I mean, you know, it depends on whether you like your dog or not. I mean, we have a cat, so we don't do any of that because they make a lot of noise and scratch things.
Well, and its derivative, tomato juice, is really good for getting rid of skunk odor when your dog gets sprayed.
Oh, well, thankfully we don't have. I haven't run across any polecats here lately. So
I haven't either. I try to keep them out of the barn. Anywho's.
Anyway, we hope you were somewhat informed and had fun like we did. Don't forget you can find us on iTunes, Spotify, iHeart, Amazon Smart Speaker, Rumble, or wherever you find those pesky little podcasts.
And if you can't find those pesky little podcasts, just go to our good old website. Oh, yeah, that's right. We're still regal today. Of stayoffmylawn.us for all our past and present episodes.
There's 150, so thank you. We'll see you at 151. We'll see you next week, folks.
That's right. It's episode...
There we go.
That's right. It's 150. Thanks for watching, folks. And please tell your friends we appreciate all of you. Have a good one. Toodles. Well, we had fun and hope you did too. The opinions heard here today are not those of anyone other than Mike and Richard. If it made you laugh or go, or even, then we've done our job. Sort of. Well, mostly anyway. And if we made you think about things in a common sense manner, we welcome you to the club. And if it didn't, then just stay off my lawn. See See you next time.